Hey loves, welcome to my channel. My name is Simbiat. Today we'll be learning how to pad our hip and butt. So above is the measurements needed. So I'll be needing a fork for this particular tutorial. So I'll be using a fork because it's a very natural feeling to the hip and butt area. It looks so natural when you put it on. So you might decide to use a wadding or a foam for yours, but I prefer to use a fork. So you'll be needing your pattern paper, your tape measure. You'll be needing your ruler, your marker, scissors, and a basic skirt bodies on your lining. So I'll be going ahead to mark my margin line. Then I'll be taking my waist to hip measurement, which is 9 inches, depending on what your waist to hip is, but I'll be using 9 inches for mine. So I'll be going ahead to extend the 9 inches downward, making 18 inches. That will be my knee point. So I'll be going ahead on the 9 inches to mark a line across there, which should be my hip line. So I'll be doing the same on my knee point there to indicate that that's my knee point. So I'll be making a line there too. So I'll be labeling this my waist to hip and my knee. So I'll be going to the right top side of my pattern paper, and I'll be coming out by 1 inches on the up part and on the down part, and I'll be connecting it as a curve. If you don't understand, just look at what I'm doing, you get what I'm doing. Your 1 inches on the top part and your 1 inches on the down part, then you mark it a curve. So I'll be going on my hip line there, that point there, and I'll be taking my tape measure to measure 5 inches. And you'll be going to your knee line there, and you'll be making a mark of 4 inches, because you know we went out by 1 inches on that down part there. So when you put your tape on 5 inches, what you'll be having there is 4 inches instead, because we went out by 1 inches on the top part and on the down part. So I'll be making my point there, and I'll be connecting it together with my ruler. So this is what you should have if you've done that. So I'll be going to that part there to make sure that my measurement is right. 5 inches there at the middle, then 4 inches at the top and at the bottom. So I'll be going up to my waistline measurement, my margin line, and I'll be coming down by 1 inches, and I'll be making a slant up there. So I'll be coming down to my knee point there, and I'll be using my marker to make a curve there. I'll be making a curve up like so. Just look at what I'm doing. This is very easy. You are going to understand this. So I'll be taking my scissors and I'll be cutting this out. So this will be for our hip side. You can see that curve there. Make sure you are cutting it this particular way. So make sure you are cutting this on fold. I'm cutting this on fold, so we have one for our hip, for our right and left side of the hip. So that'll be my right side there, then the other one will be for my left side. Make sure you are mashing them equally. So I'll be labeling that part my left side. So now we're taking a fresh pattern paper, making my margin line again. Now I'll be repeating the same process we did on the first one. That is your waist to hip line 9 inches, then you extend the 9 inches down, giving you your knee point. So you'll be going ahead to mark a straight line across. So you'll be taking your lining. This is where the lining part comes in. Going to that your hip side there, I'm taking your tape measure down to that zipper side, then you measure what you have there. So whatever you have there, you are going to be placing it on your pattern paper. When I measured mine, I had 10 inches, so I'll be placing the 10 inches on. my pattern paper. So I'll be coming to that point there, and I'll be making a box like shape, because this second pattern we are making is for our board side. So just go ahead and make a box like shape. So I'll be going to the top part of the pattern paper, and I'll be placing my tape measure on it, and I'll be marking out 2 inches on that part. Just look at what I'm doing, you will understand it. 2 inches, mark out 2 inches there, and you connect it. So you are connecting it in a slant like form, which is giving us the definition of your waist to your hip side. That slopiness you have from your waist to your hip side, that's what that slant is giving us there. So now we'll be going to the left side of the pattern paper here. That point I'm placing my finger on, and you'll be marking down 1 inches like so, and you'll be making a slant there. So just look at how I'm doing this, and repeat the same process on your own pattern paper. So I'll be going out to cut this. So I'm cutting this on a fold, so I have to slant this into 2. So I will have one for the right side and the other one for the left side. So this is very easy, guys. So after doing this, you can see how I cut that bolt like shape. No, just give it a bolt like shape there. So I'll be taking the hip line to my butt line, the hip pattern and the butt pattern, and I'll be matching them together. So if you need to make some adjustment to it, if you feel it's too long for you, you can trim it, you can reduce it depending on what you want. So I will go ahead to make some adjustments to this. So you can see I'll be adjusting some parts on this. So if you need to make an adjustment to yours, you can go ahead to do that, but I need to adjust some things. I don't want it to be as long to my nail length, so I'm adjusting the length. So I'll be taking my 4 and be transferring the pattern to my 4. So I'll be using my 4 like this. This length is 1 inches, this height is 1 inches. Instead of me tearing it open, I'll be using it as it is like this, because I want it to give it I want it to have that definition. I want that definition to be highlighted there, so I won't be opening it like that. I'll be using it as it is, a 1 inches. So let me go ahead to transfer this to transfer my pattern to this. I hope you guys understand what I'm doing. I prefer to use a 4 because it gives it a very natural feeling, but if you prefer foam, you can use foam or wording depending on what you want. So I'll be pinning this down. So I'll be cutting the 4 on fold actually, so you'll be having the 2 parts in one, so you don't have to cut it twice. So I'll be pinning it down, and I'll be going ahead to cut it out, and I'll repeat the same process on my butt too. Be very careful when you are cutting this out, so you don't cut you don't trim off some parts of the pattern paper. And guys, when you are making your basic skirt pattern, make sure you are adding 2 inches extra to your measurement, to your hip line measurement, because of when you are placing your enhancements, whatever you want to use for your enhancements, either a 4 or a foam or a wording, so that it's going to take up some space there. It's going to take up some space in the fabric, so you have ease while putting it on. So don't forget to add extra 2 inches to your measurement, your hip measurement, so you can have ease when wearing it. So I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Let's cut this out. Cut. So this is what you are going to have when you cut this out. So I'll be taking out my pattern and be setting it aside. I'll be setting it aside. So I'll be removing the pins from the four. So be very careful, guys, with pins. The pins can easily sink into the four. So make sure you check for the pins properly before you go ahead to sew it. This is what it should look like when you are done cutting. So now I'll be matching the hip line to the butt. So guys, there is a special way for you to join this together. Actually, you can see the way I'm connecting this together. So when you want to sew this, there's two ways for you to sew this. Like, you sew the two in different ways. It's not something I do. Just listen and look at what I'm doing. You take the hip, one side of the hip, you place it on the butt. Then you go ahead to sew it down. You can see the way I'm putting it. So that one is, the hip side is placed on the butt. So this one, you put the hip down, this hip part will be down, then you now place the butt on top of it. You do it like this, then you sew. You take it to your sewing machine, then you sew it down. If you don't do it like this, if you sew the two in the same way, like placing the hip on it, you are going to have the same thing on each side. So, and like this, you are supposed to have two different sides for the right and left. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So I went ahead to sew this down with my sewing machine, and this is what it's giving. So it's not really giving that butt shape, because this is a four. This thing is very light. It's not as hard as a foam or a wadding. So it's not giving that definition now, because it gives it a very natural feeling. So it's not high now. It's when you place it on your fabric, that is when that feel is going to pop up. So now to join it to our lining part, so guys, you'll be joining it to your lining part of the fabric instead, and not the fabric directly. So you open up your lining to the side points, and you'll be placing your four on it like this. You can see how I'm placing it, starting from 1 inches below. You won't be placing it on the waistline. You won't be placing it on the waistline directly. You'll be going 1 inches below the waistline. You have to like join your waist up there. If you are making a gown, you need an allowance that you are going to use to join your waist to your upper body. So you need that allowance to be there. You don't want it to be bulky at that part. So that is why you are leaving 1 inches there. So after placing it, making sure the butt side is connecting, making sure the hip line is on the hip line of the skirt, then you pin it down, and you repeat the same process to the other side too, making sure the butt side is facing the butt side of the skirt and the hip side is facing the hip side of the skirt. Then you pin it down like that, and you take it to your sewing machine to stitch it down. You repeat the same process for the two. Make sure you are pinning it down securely so you don't have a bulge on your lining. So this is what it should look like when you are done pinning it down. So you just take this to your sewing machine and you sew it down. Sew it down like so. Guys, if you are still watching this, please subscribe to my channel. Please like and share this video. And if there's a particular style you want me to touch on, please let me know in the comment section. So I went ahead to sew this, and this is what it looks like already. You can see it's well attached. Guys, I recommend you using a 4. A 4 give it the most natural feeling. Like, it looks so real. It doesn't look like a fake, but you get what I'm trying to say. It gives it a very natural feeling. I actually prefer using this to a foam, depending on what you want to do. And look at how it looks. See, it already, it has that definition, that feel already. Look at it now. Look at it. That definition is there already. Look at it. Just look at it. So I'll be transferring this to my fabric, and I'll be showing you guys what I have in the finished process. On the left side is what it looks like without a padding, and on the right side it's what it looks like when I finish padding. Look at how natural it looks. Look at it. Look at that enhancement I have there, man. So lovely. Guys, please subscribe to my channel. Please like and share. Thank you for watching. Guys, I'll be having a new tutorial going up after this one. Please do well to engage and watch. Thank you.